So I wrote down a couple of thoughts here. And you can take a couple of notes. It's just a few thoughts on why some people fail. Why do some people fail? And the first thing I wrote down here is there's no structure and no discipline. No structure and no discipline. The results that you get are a function of the way you set your life up. The results you're getting are a function of the way you set your life up. The environment you are in generally determines the behavior that you have. If you run around with people and are associated with people who spend everything, you tend to do what? Spend everything. If you hang around people that are not hard workers, don't focus on what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it, you tend to not do that. If you hang around top achievers, if you hang around people that want to do more and have more in their life, then you tend to have more in your life. Values, family, money, friends, all of it. Health. You know, we all have friends that love to go out and eat, you know, greasy cheeseburgers, right? And we also have friends that we go out with that have a salad with a piece of salmon on it. Which one do you prefer going out with? Cheeseburger, right? I know. But that may not be right. It's who you hang out with. I wrote down here, create an environment that forces you to succeed. Create an environment that forces you to succeed. Hang around people who are successful. Hang around people who save money. I'm here to tell you, the market we're in isn't the best in the world. And yet, some of you are making a bloody fortune. And some aren't. But this market will pass. We will have a different marketplace. And I encourage you to save your money. Save your money. You know, try this. Live on 60% and save 40%. Try it. What would your life look like if for the next 10 years you lived on 60% of your income and saved 40% of your income? Now, I understand the taxes, all the ramifications, but that's after-tax dollars. All right? Try that. I wrote down here, no structure, no discipline. If no structure and no discipline, then what you're doing is your life is really a reaction. Your life is a reaction to things. When you have no systems, or your systems aren't set up properly, and you have no procedures, this creates frustration in your life, low efficiency, and then the lack of production. Structure and discipline are the keys to long-term success. So I wrote down here, some agents fail because they don't understand, they have no accountability, and they have distractions. They have no accountability, they're accountable to no one or nothing. And they have distractions in their life. I wrote down here, accountability is a chance to live by choice rather than by accident. By choice rather than by accident. If you're accountable to the savings, you're accountable to what you eat, you're accountable to getting up in the morning, you're accountable to those things. And we fool around with the scotch and the things that I have here. That's probably a 4-year supply of scotch. I like it. And I don't care what I pay for a bottle of scotch. I really don't. If I like that bottle of scotch, I'm going to buy that, and generally, every Friday night, I'm going to have myself a shot of scotch. A single malt, I like it. It's what I enjoy, but it's in moderation. Get it? I'm not going to sit down and get wacko. No way. I don't like it that much. The other problem is, when that happens, what happens to tomorrow? No tomorrow, is there? Now, Saturday night was an amazing party, amazing time. We were having a great time. And I had probably a few drinks too many, and I was pretty tired. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning by the time we got to bed. And then we get up the next morning and we have breakfast with the kids, so with the grandkids. So yesterday was kind of a blur to me, because I was pretty tired. And I didn't like that. Do you like it when you lose the next day? It's no good. I don't like it. Accountability is a chance to live by choice rather than accidents. I wrote down here, agents are not honest with themselves or others. What you measure, you can improve or monitor. What you measure, you can improve or monitor. And I wrote down here, some agents fail because of no business maturity. This is probably the biggest issue, and I kind of alluded back to it earlier. You have to understand that this business, that business in general, but this business is a business of cycles. Write that down. This business is a business of cycles. What go up will come down. What is down will go up. It's a function of time. It's a function of time. You buy a house, I don't care if you bought it at the height of the market or the bottom of the market. You buy a house, you hold on to it for 30 years, it will be worth more. It will be. It's just a reality. It's just the reality. Now, there might be a bunch of ups and downs in between, but over time, it will be worth more money. It's just the way it is. I bought property in the 70s and 80s that I held on to, that I still own, that went up. I don't know, it was probably worth about $400,000, $450,000, this one property in Rowland Heights, at its peak. And it went down, and right now it's probably worth about $250,000. I paid 70 grand for this house. $70,000, 20 years ago. So it went up, it went down, it went up, it went down, it went up, and went down. It's still worth more than I paid for it. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Over time, it's worth more. Just depends on the time. Buy and hold. It's an amazing time to buy real estate right now. It's an amazing time to buy real estate right now. Because we saw what it will and can go up to. We saw that. $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $1 million for these houses. And now you can buy for $500,000, $600,000, $200,000. It's an amazing time. Interest rates are in the high 3s and low 4s. It's phenomenal. I wrote down here, today matters. Today matters. What are you going to do today? How are you going to fill your hours? What work are you going to do? I wrote down, you have the same 86,400 seconds. Write that down. 86,400 seconds is how many seconds there are in 24 hours. You have the same amount of seconds in your day as anyone else. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Neil Schwartz, Monica Diaz, anyone else. And yet, what do you do with your 86,000 seconds? And what do they do with their 86,000 seconds? Think about it. Think about that. What will you do with your time? What will you focus in on? What changes are you going to make? You're in this for the long haul. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. We're in it for the long haul. I'm able to take 3 weeks off because for the last 40 years, I did what I was supposed to do. Some days better than others, I'll grant you that. But I was able to do that and set up systems and work with you guys in such a way that we can do this. You've allowed me to do that, but I'm doing this almost as much for you as I'm doing it for myself because I want you to see it's possible. You can do this. You do what you're supposed to do, and you too can have it. It's right in front of you. You know, my wife gets a kick out of showing that when I was in high school, for my high school, my entire time in high school, I had 13 D's and 1 F.
1A.
I did? I had 1A?
1A.
What did I get the A in?
Boys PE second semester senior year.
Thank you.
My role model.
It doesn't matter what your past is. It doesn't matter what your education is. It doesn't matter where your family came from. It doesn't matter. Today matters. What you do with it matters. Take those opportunities. I challenge you. I challenge you.